he walks into Thrawn's quarters and he says he sees his glowing red eyes. Is that being descriptive, or do their eyes glow?
That seems like a pretty consistent description, actually. Even in like the first chapter, for some reason their eyes are bioluminescent, it seems.
Do you think when he closes his eyes you can just see a little bit, just like when he put a flashlight against his finger?
That's probably why his skin is blue.
It glows purple because his skin is blue. It's like if he's sleeping next to another chiss and be like, babe, close your eyes. Oh, they're already closed. Hello there. You found the Lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legends from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will join an episodic discussion of media from the Star Wars universe. We will be your guides. Tim?
I've lost my appetite.
Kyle?
I thought I was pushed to the bottom.
I'm Scott, and I'm starving. And Stuart.
This greeting has no context.
Join us on Patreon and you will know what we're talking about.
The people must know.
We will be covering the material up to and including Chapter 15 of Heir to the Empire. So, Kyle, what happened so far?
Last and first of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker lacks the confidence to be the teacher needed to rebuild the Jedi Order. He struggles to impart what little he feels he knows to his first student, his sister Leia Organa Solo. After turning to Dagobah hoping to find instruction, he leaves with the starship remote from a dark Jedi possibly slain by Master Yoda. All the while, Leia and Luke are on the run to evade capture of the mysterious Imperial commander. They have little intelligence but suspect a leak in the New Republic capital.
Oh my god, that's stupid.
God damn it, I'm trying to get rid of hiccups, guys.
Apparently, all you need to remember to get rid of hiccups is that you are not a fish.
Okay, Stuart. What if I'm a water sign?
Do I need to set up calendar reminders every so often?
All right, I'm sorry. They have little intel, but
Yeah, I'm ready.
possibly high intelligence. They didn't do very well on their intelligence roll.
They have little intel but suspect a leak in the New Republic capital. They've run into Lando Calrissian on Nklon, but were again caught in a confrontation. They decided to send Leia to Kashyyyk with Chewbacca, while Han Solo and Lando broadcast decoy signals, giving the illusion that Leia is still on the run. During the space battle over Nklon, Luke's mind is touched by another Jedi, beckoning him to meet Andromark. This Jedi, however, is a dark Jedi clone, Jerus Sabaoth, and is indirectly responsible for the many ambushes they are trying to escape. Grand Admiral Thrawn is the mastermind leading the Imperial remnants from the shadows. He has recruited Sabaoth and has promised the Skywalkers in exchange for his allegiance. Lastly, Talon Card is a smuggling lord with a new apprentice, the enigmatic Mara Jade. While new to his organization, she shows great promise, and he is determined to crack her mysterious veil. Stuart, what did happen in this chapter?
Well, this summary is quite a bit shorter than that one, but Chapter 15, after parting ways with Luke and Leia and Chewbacca, Han and Lando discuss what their next move is. Lando suggests that they find Talon Card, hoping to set a precedent for future dealings. Unbeknownst to the heroes, they were surveilled by the Imperials. From the meager clues, Thrawn was quickly able to devise the personnel and headings of each ship. Soon, they will lay a trap for Luke as he follows Sabaoth's beckon.
So at what point does Thrawn's intelligence just seem a little bit unbelievable?
That I was thinking that he just sometimes you have to he has to big brain it too much sometimes. He has to make one wrong assumption at some point, and then it just branches off completely into disaster.
I feel like the one lucky thing was that 4 minutes and 23 seconds makes 3 transfers. Like, that's a little bit dubious, but like he is he's a Grand Admiral, right? It's his business to know how fast you can transport troops from one ship to another, or whatever timing that you're going to need for like this kind of tactical stuff. And I feel like our heroes were just a little bit too dumb.
They have little intelligence.
They have little intelligence. And they didn't leave much like air of mystery around what it was, because like when Thrawn lays it all out and says like in the end there were 3 transfers, and what makes sense is that it's Han and Lando together, and then Chewie and Leia, because like what other combination would make sense to do that? I mean, like, you could just dummy the whole thing in the first place, or spend more time just like connected. Or I feel like they didn't want to get on the ships on Nklon in case there was some sort of leak there, but I feel like that would have been the safest place to do their transfer, not out in space where
that's where I assumed it was happening.
They probably weren't assuming that someone's watching them and timing exactly how long they're connected.
Yeah.
And also, what if one of them, what if one of them tripped? What if someone tripped? That's why it took a little longer for 2 of them to cross. Now the whole plan's out of the water.
Somebody wanged their head on the bulkhead.
Or what if somebody, as they were transferring over, they stopped to give a little hug? Anything could happen.
Yeah.
I feel like Thrawn has to have an oversight at some point, and that oversight will be because of someone else's incompetence or stupidity.
Right.
Like, he just couldn't predict that.
Right. That's the thing, is that's going to have to stop Thrawn. It's either somebody with a bigger brain is going to outbrain him, or somebody so stupid that their actions are going to be inconceivable is going to outdo him.
Have you guys seen Glass Onion?
Yes, I have.
It's literally that.
I was thinking that, or also there's an issue, there's a comic where Deadpool fights Taskmaster. Taskmaster can learn any fighting style, but Deadpool just starts doing random stuff to beat him.
Yeah, he can't learn Deadpool's because there's no pattern. Yeah,
I was wondering about that. It's like all these Jedi learn their forms, like Form 2 and Form 5 or whatever, It's like, what if somebody just starts swinging and wailing like crazy?
When someone throws out the pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
Oh man, Anakin's weakness.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thinking this, like, I appreciate the intelligence, but sometimes it comes off as like, is it intelligence, or does he somehow have the script to the story?
Yeah.
In this case, I'm willing to say that, like, no, our heroes made really dumb choices in what they were doing. But I do see that, like, a few more of these, and I'd start to question, like, the head of the author in this.
Right.
Well, I think that also reveals another thing that's difficult with writing super intelligent characters like this, unless you yourself are a ridiculously intelligent person, because you have to dumb down other characters in order to like show them off.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like the strength of this writing style has been as well. Like, when I first read this book, I was confused about why Thrawn was not the point of view character, but everything is always through Pelayan's point of view, and it's to give that like enigmatic shell that we can then project a lot of intelligence onto. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, I feel like it's when I got to the end of the books, like that certainly came through, and I really appreciate that it's not like a Sherlock Holmes type character that's doing all this musing, and we're hearing the internal monologue of like what makes them so smart, and because I feel like that would break what makes the character smart. But seeing it from the outside of like, these are the conclusions and we have to kind of hurry up to them, is, he breaks it down as much as he needs to in this chapter. And like, he lays it out pretty well in this one as well, I thought.
No, that's a good point. That's a clever way to write it.
Yeah, because you don't want a character telling you how, look how intelligent I am.
Yeah.
I figure out everybody else's things.
Wow.
Speaking of Pelian's perspective, I did notice in this chapter, it does mention he walks into Thrawn's quarters, and he's like in the dark kind of, and he says he sees his glowing red eyes. Do you think he was, is that being descriptive, or do their eyes glow?
That seems like a pretty consistent description, actually. Even in like the first chapter, it talked about Thrawn's glowing red eyes and the glowing red slits, and so for some reason their eyes are bioluminescent. It seems.
Wait, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was just a little flavor text or
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's got.
Do you think when he closes his eyes that you can just see a little bit, just kind of like when you put a flashlight against your finger?
That's probably why his skin is blue.
It glows purple because his skin is blue.
Oh, fun.
I was thinking it was dark enough that it would block it out.
Yeah, it's like that cyan filter that you put over a traffic light, and the red light looks red, but when you look at it really closely, it's actually just gray. So his eyelids would filter out all the red light.
Okay.
Blue.
Maybe he just has really thick eyelids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Advantage or
It's like if he's sleeping next to another chiss and be like, babe, close your eyes. Oh, they're already closed.
Hey, on the plus side, you'll never
What
need
do
a
you think the
nightlight.
advantages to having glowing eyes, though?
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Maybe they live in a low light environment.
Well, if you're a parent, you can tell if your kid's awake or not. Go to sleep. I am.
I was until you yelled at me to go to sleep.
Okay, so if your eyes glow, I think it would be an advantage if they projected just enough for you to be able to see a little bit ahead of you in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Dark vision,
Right.
yes.
Okay.
Dark vision.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that interfere with the rods and cones in your own eye as well?
Yes.
It would seem like
That's
it.
assuming that they have rods and cones in their eyes.
Oh, yeah, we are assuming a lot there.
They got sticks
Yeah.
and stones, or
They have spheres and rectangles.
spheres and
Maybe.
rectangles?
They
Okay.
have camera sensors.
Tetrahedrons.
Although I guess there's a lot of like weird processing that the brain does as well to like compensate for all the extra things that you hear. Like you don't hear your own voice the way that you hear it because your brain does a lot of
no.
filtering.
Every time I listen back to these episodes, I'm like, who's that?
Who is that man? I've
Yeah.
never met him in my life.
Yeah.
So possibly if your eyes do bioluminesce, that you're not going to be sensitive, or your brain filters out the right amount of light based off what you're projecting. Just like bats wouldn't be confused by the sound of the noises that they're making and only be hearing the echoes.
Yeah. That could be. And then how your brain filters out your nose. You know, like you can see your nose, but your brain just like filters it out
All right, now listeners, everybody
in
can
your
see
line
that.
of sight.
Yeah.
I know. I literally just did it.
You're now breathing manually. You're welcome. You can feel your toes touching.
Your bones are wet.
Oh no, stop.
Don't forget to blink, guys.
It's like, great. Now I got to tell my digestive tract to go start working.
I have to tell myself I'm not a fish.
Yeah.
quick reminder.
Yeah.
You have to go back through the evolutionary tree. Okay, I'm not a fish. I'm not a lizard. I'm not a sloth.
So I like the implication that Thrawn's art on display kind of regularly switches out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. But he has that one that's like a real piece.
Yeah, very cool.
Which does mean on this ship is a wonderful art storage room.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Or maybe it's just
but-
the one piece. He has just the
I
one.
think he has just the one real piece,
Yeah.
but everything else is holographic.
Yeah, he just like scans everything. Yeah.
I can imagine him like between his meetings with Pelion, he's like trying to perfectly place this one statue in the room, thinking, how can I make him uncomfortable today when he walks in?
Right?
Turns out Thrawn isn't an art collector. He's just an NFT aficionado.
Oh no.
He's got that one art piece that just like follows Pelion like wherever he goes. Making
Oh,
him
that would be
uncomfortable.
cool. Actually.
Not enough puppets in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think that our future will look a lot like that. That once augmented reality gets like real mainstream, that everybody has like glasses or contacts or whatever, that you don't need art in your room. You don't need any decorations on your walls. You just need to be able to project that on the virtually in the space. And as long as it looks real enough, that it's going to be like Thrawn's art deck room and just have stuff on the walls that you could continually change, or you could, go into the settings and have like every time you walk into the room, I want different stuff on the wall. And yeah, like you could change the designs of your coffee table or whatever. That's just like all surfaces, you can change the textures or whatever just from augmented reality. And I feel like that's gonna be a real sick future.
There's gonna be some upsetting houses in the future.
That could get so trippy.
I was going to put posters and like metal wall art in the merch store, but maybe I won't now.
Just sell 3D assets. Yeah.
Don't let the future stop you.
No, we're still going to sell them. Like there's still a premium on real assets, but
Have you guys seen the guy who's making those playing cards that like when you point a camera at them, they display a 3D model of the card, of the creature on the card?
I have, yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that guy, but I really enjoyed those.
There's the wine company 9 Crimes. Like if you download the app or whatever, you hold your phone up to it, and then like the label on the wine bottle will like animate. It's a little weird.
That's always the downside of those things, is like you need to download a very specific app.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
We'll uniform one day.
Yeah. So I have to wonder about this holographic art, though, because, I mean, we're shown that holograms are blue in Star Wars, like everywhere.
True. Yeah.
So do species color perception just not matter to their psychology?
Maybe. These are like high-end holoprojectors that
I would imagine these
have color.
Yeah, I would imagine it looks like the real thing.
I would like to see it canonized.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even in the first chapter, when Pelion first walks into it's the first time that we meet him walking into Thrawn's room. Like he thinks that the room is filled with art, and then when he switches it off,
right,
then Pelion's surprised. So it needs to be
right,
super realistic.
Right.
So I imagine like there's a scale of like, you want communications? We don't need full color or 60 frames per second.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, honestly. And we don't need 4K here. We're fine with 720.
And then the other thing that happens in this chapter is that we just get a very mundane dialogue between Han and Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, real quick before we go over them, there was a brief discussion on how Thrawn thinks Chewbacca's are inferior to Nagiri.
Nogri?
Yeah. Wookiees are inferior to Nogri.
Yes.
Honestly, like Wookiees are touted as quite, mighty,
barbaric,
formidable creatures.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with Thrawn. He's Wookiees aren't that hot. I don't think. I
haven't seen the other ones do anything impressive yet. I've only seen the 2 failed kidnappings from them.
Just you wait, Kyle. Just you wait, Kyle.
But what I think though is that Wookiees, when you're standing right in front of them, because towers of strength, giant walking carpets, but we know that Wookiees are constantly enslaved throughout galactic history, that even the Trandoshans that live on like a neighboring planet regularly go to kidnap them. And I feel like Wookiee culture is a little bit like too much on a bound, that they are a little bit slaves to their own ideals, and that puts them at the mercy of other people that express their domination over them. So I feel like Wookiees aren't as
smash the life debt.
Yeah.
Let's let it go. It's antiquated.
Yeah.
Before we get too far, like past editing, I wanted to discuss the significance of the piece of artwork in Thrawn's, like the real piece of artwork.
Oh yeah.
Because he talks about this was the only civilization or whatever that I forgot how he put it. He said something like miscalculated or something somehow.
Yeah.
Like
Hold on, we don't get like a very big description of this one, but I did want to read it just because it's so short.
Yeah.
That one of the sculptures had not disappeared with the others. Sitting alone in its globe of light, it's slowly writhed on its pedestal like a wave in some bizarre alien ocean. And then the sculpture was strangely hypnotic. Like, that's all we get. What do you guys imagine when you hear that description?
I didn't really think of, I mean, I was trying to imagine something, but I don't know. There was just like so much going through my head. I couldn't really pinpoint anything.
I'm imagining like a lot of small, just like micro lines creating a bunch of texture and almost kind of like an optical illusion when you look at it.
Oh.
I kind of thought of the Obscura in Fantastic Beasts, if you've seen that movie.
Oh, right.
Oh, the Obscurial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they have it in the little bubble. That's what I was
Right. Right. Yeah. Not bad. Yeah.
But also the significance of it was it was like he learned from his mistake with that culture, and then Pelion was like, "Oh, I'm sure that the lesson learned will prove useful later." And Thrawn's like, "No, I destroyed them."
Which I don't. What is Thrawn's goal? Does he want to be the next emperor?
Yeah, not because they want to reestablish the empire, but like, and they're always called Imperials, but like without an emperor or like supreme dictator, you don't really have an empire. So
is he at this point the highest ranking Imperial figure
of his part of the remnant?
Oh, just his part. Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, like from what we can gather, he would be at the top of the pecking order. Like,
not like the entire remainders of, because they're also kind of
I'm
like
assuming
scattered.
there's multiple pockets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what his goal is. I'm sure we'll hear it. I mean, yes, he is trying to reestablish the empire, but is he looking for a new emperor?
his goal is fascism.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what they want. They want a totalitarian dictatorship to be reinstated so that order and peace throughout the galaxy for all time. They want a technological and ideological lock-in of sorts.
Yeah. So I forget, did he ever figure out that race before he destroyed them? Or was it something that he was just like never able to understand?
It's something that he said that he was starting to understand now.
Starting now.
That's what it was, yeah. Starting to understand
What
now.
I think is that possibly he got frustrated with not being able to conquer them and just absolutely annihilated them, and still has this one little like relic and muses over it.
Gotcha. That was my impression too, which I thought was a pretty interesting wrinkle to him because it shows a bit of impetuousness to his character as well.
Yeah.
Which we have seen with his beef with Jerua Savayoff as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because you were mentioning a couple of chapters back, like, how do you think that Thrawn comes undone? And that may be it. It's a puzzle that he can't solve, and he just smashes the Rubik's Cube against the floor.
Yeah.
Lightsabers the control console.
Oh my god. Did Thrawn inspire Kylo Ren?
We'll have to read on to find out.
Probably not, because Kylo Ren.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
It was a dumb joke.
Kylo Ren's threshold is like way at the floor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I also like how they're discussing what are they discussing before they change to Skywalker? They're like, no, we're not talking about that anymore.
I feel like there are so many small details or exchanges in these chapters sometimes.
Yeah.
That you just have to like dig through it.
Oh, right. So back to the Wookiees being not that hot. We he said the Wookiees are extremely capable fighters. So are the Nogri. He counted coldly. Now, what of Skywalker? Just changes.
That's it.
We're not going to have a discussion about this. All right, we're talking about Skywalker now. Let's move on.
Right.
I think that might come back of like, he's a little bit rigid in what he thinks, and possibly
Right.
not being able to solve those problems will make him that kind of impetuous. Okay, no, we're not focusing on this one. Next.
Do you think that means he's going to underestimate the Wookiees, though?
No.
Okay.
What if you're underestimating the Wookiees, Stuart?
Then I'm going to be thrown and just say, now, what if Skywalker?
Team Wookiee.
Right. Oh, they kicked her ass. Okay, what if Skywalker?
And even if you don't think they're that strong, you're on the planet of Wookiees. Also, not only the Wookiees, but like, didn't they also say the planet was a death jungle? Just like absolutely,
it's like the Australia of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Amazon rainforest, I would think. Yeah.
The death jungle is certainly something to be take into account, but I think the Wookiees have enough ideological brittleness that you can work around them into arenas that they're not going to play in. Mm-hmm. Just don't approach a Wookiee head on.
No,
but that's all you got to do.
Or don't beat it in a game.
One of those spider web sticks that shoot 200 meters or whatever.
The Tarzan sticks.
Now, what if Wookiees had Stokely sticks? Would that be better than Nogri?
Then they're unstoppable.
No, but it's their ideology that keeps them caged. Right. That's the point. It doesn't matter what weapons they have.
You can't affect their ideology if they can't hear you. So that one Key and Peele sketch was like, we're going to rob a bank. We start by getting jobs there, and they're going to slowly pay us money over time. They'll never see it coming. And then we had a subpar conversation between Lando and Han.
Yeah,
it happened.
It
wasn't bad.
It was there.
Yeah. I feel like you can never trust Lando because he said that, but this time I'm not lying to you. I'm like, how many times can you use that line for? But I think he was lying to him. I think he does want to use this as a business opportunity. I don't think that people like that don't sleep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he should be more focused on stopping the problem than getting back his little machines, because they just kind of came in and took them. If they wanted more, they'll do it again.
Yeah, but taking down an enemy like Thrawn is very costly, and it's cheaper to just replace your machines.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the people that were inside.
Yeah.
And so his little comment about, let's go sightseeing, what do you mean by sightseeing? What makes sightseeing interesting plot besides not getting to see the sights?
Well, going to look for mole miners.
Going to look for mole miners. Look at that site, it's a mole miner.
Well, if it's going to be like a road movie, you have to use the exterior to explore the interior of the characters.
Okay, there you go.
The bottle episode.
Yeah, take them out of their comfort zone so that everything bubbles up to the surface. And then one of them has a come to Jesus moment, and then everything's great. And then they go back to real life, and you're like, should they have just stayed on the road?
Yeah. So they both have gone respectable, apparently. Mm-hmm. So we need some sort of external road trip that challenges their respectability to see whether they really do want to be respectable or not.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Sounds like a good story.
Okay, I'm on board with that plot line now.
Yeah, that actually sounds really good.
It's like Han and Lando go to White Castle.
What do you think White Castle is like in space?
Pause for a second. What is White Castle?
It's like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
No, like actual White Castle itself.
It's an okay burger place.
It's just a fast food place.
It's a fast food place in America. They have like small burgers with square patties, and they like lather them in onions.
They're like sliders.
Yeah, they're kind of like thin, stringy beef as well.
They're not very good.
So on the scale of like McDonald's to Olive Garden, how...
That's a very small scale.
Olive Garden. That's like a 1 to 5.
Well, hold on.
It's like 1 to 3.
On the scale of McDonald's to Olive Garden, how out of touch with their image are they?
Oh, they're very in touch with their image.
Stuart,
They're right on it. Yeah.
I hope you have more restaurants in Okinawa than just American restaurants in McDonald's and Olive Garden.
No, we don't have an Olive Garden here, but
okay.
But like from what I know about American culture, like Olive Garden is like it pretends to be the swanky type thing, but actually it's just kind of like family dining.
Yeah,
it's like the McDonald's of Italian.
Well, the thing is,
that's why my scale is like McDonald's knows what it is and it's putting it out there.
Gotcha.
Whereas Olive Garden is like, oh, but we're kind of like we're good for the family, and you can take a nice date here, and but like, you know, if your date wants to go to McDonald's, like you're going for the food, not the pretension that they're trying to sell.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
So White Castle is.
If it helps, my family calls their food rat burgers. Yeah.
But then, like, also, like, there's not many White Castles in Texas. I don't think there's any White Castles in Texas.
Probably
there's
not.
none over here on the West Coast.
So, it's not even that big of a restaurant.
I think there's at least one here in Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, before that movie, I had never heard of it. But they also do sell their burgers, like, in frozen format, like in the frozen food sections at the grocery stores. And that's the only way that I've actually tried them before. And I didn't think they were that great.
Back when I ate meat, I would actually have those a lot.
I'll tell you what, though, their chicken sliders are really good. I went to a new burger place called Dippin' Burger today. Oh, it was great.
All right, Sarah. So imagine small and packed with grease, concentrated grease. More bread than meat, but lots of onions to try and make up for it, and your mileage varies.
Yeah, but the meat patty is less than like a centimeter thick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Small. Yeah.
You'll order like 6 of them. So.
Yeah.
Right. And like big enough to fit in one hand, 2 hands. What?
2 fingers. Like
like one. Like you can eat one in a mouthful, probably like in one bite.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got from all that description what it might be like.
Yes.
But there's like it's like. They have like the tiny little onions, kind of like a McDonald's burger.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like the bun, meat patty, tiny little onions. Is there like ketchup or anything on it? I don't know.
No.
Just your onions. Although onions are pretty damn good.
Yeah. Onions are great.
Oh, yeah.
The onions kind of save it.
The onions on In-N-Out was like, it's perfect.
It is onion forward.
So I think Space White Castle has Womp Rat burgers.
Burgers.
Yeah.
They can't afford a bantha meat.
No. But they say it's bantha meat.
Yeah.
I can't remember where, but somewhere it's mentioned Rancor sauce.
I don't remember that.
There was I wonder, is Rancor sauce the sauce of a Rancor, or is it how we do hot sauce and we name it crazy things?
That's what I think. I think it's.
I want some Star Wars hot sauce.
Like Gundark sauce or something.
Hell yeah. Mustafarian lava stream sauce. Yeah.
Wookiee sauce.
Wookiee rage sauce.
But no grease sauce is stronger.
The dark side of the sauce.
Also, one more thing. Hear me out. What if Lando actually wanted to see the sights? They're going to Canto Bight.
All right, let's do it.
Actually, that does sound like Lando's kind of sights. Manicured nature, but architectural mostly.
But they do have to do a believable course for a decoy ship as well.
Yeah.
So they're just going to go hang out at Canto Bight. Everyone will see through it. Or they'll be like, "Oh, you're such a terrible politician, Leia."
Yeah, they're on the lady love, right?
She's there rubbing with the arms dealers and the people on both sides.
Well, he'd be a terrible politician if he wasn't gambling.
Was there anything else that was said in that part of the chapter that was interesting to talk about?
Well, they're going to go visit Talon Card.
Oh, yeah.
So we get a reason for his existence now.
Yeah.
I feel like this was the main point of their part of the chapter, was just be like, they are going to see Talon Card.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, the first chapter with Talon Card I felt like it was a good chapter.
Yeah.
I feel that was a good intro. We've only had one other chapter, which was them hanging out.
I feel like it was 2.
And 2 other ones?
I think so, maybe.
2. Because I remember, the first, and then the one where they're like viewing the aftermath and they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. But was there another one?
Was the first one when they were having dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one they had dinner.
Okay.
So,
and there was the interruption. And they kind of get the, he's on the planet with all the Islamari.
Oh, there was only one.
Right.
And then there was one other chapter, which was a whole nothing burger of, we witnessed a space battle and we're just gonna bounce.
Such a huge nothing burger. It felt like 2 chapters.
Mara Jade was the glass onion of that chapter. I don't know what glass onion actually is, but she was so weird in that chapter.
Yeah, she was. That was bizarre.
I think, like I said, when we actually covered that chapter, that I feel like she should have been like, no, we have to get out of here right now. And he was like, oh, well, let's just like witness a little bit more. I feel like that would have been a better tension, than her saying, oh, but we made them a promise. Because that wasn't believable for a character.
Yeah. Timothy Zahn, if you're listening, send out a revised version now.
It's not Zahn's wheelhouse anymore. It'll be the publisher that we need to reach out to.
Oh, God. All right. Well, I'll draft an email right now.
Listen here, Disney.
But yeah, I feel like we could have done without that chapter, but we did need, like, this is chapter 15, right? And so we needed a reminder that, like, they were present in the story between now and then.
Because they won't remind us.
We won't
with
remember.
their presence.
Well, they haven't had much to do, so like it's believable that they wouldn't come in until this late in the story. But
yeah,
they just had to make an appearance and be like, oh yeah, those are characters in this story. Okay, right.
Yeah. So we've had this set up. We've had a little bit of conflict teased at, and now we're actually getting a reason for them to be entwined in the plot.
Yeah.
So
can't wait to see.
Let's do it.
All right. This has been The Lost Holocron. You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how you can support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we will be waiting for you in the next transmission. We will be honored if you would join us.